For 20 years, 53-year-old Doug Wager of Delaware County, Pennsylvania, has turned goalie masks into canvases, combining his love for art with his passion for hockey.
I grew up with it. It was part of my family, something I always did. Even as a little kid, I liked to draw and just kind of went from there.
Just like art, Wager's connection to hockey started at home.
Yeah, also grew up with that. My dad was into hockey. I didn't quite remember the Flyers Stanley Cup parades or seeing any of that, but hockey was always a point of interest in the house and the neighborhood.
But outside of his house is where Wager would be introduced to his passion, designing custom goalie masks.
The neighbors down the street, they used to play street hockey a lot, and so they were older than me. And I got scared by their masks that were all done up with like electrical tape and model paints and stuff like that. And then as I got a little bit older and realized it was cool and not scary. Always drew, always painted. How can I make my street hockey masks look cool? Intimidation, all those little things. It was just something fun, another fun art project that I could take out and show.
There was a time when goaltenders faced shots with no protection at all. It wasn't until November 1959 when Montreal Canadiens goaltender Jacques Plante put on a fiberglass mask during a game in which a puck hit him in the face. By the late 1960s, masks had become more common across the National Hockey League.
I definitely remember seeing it all kind of unfurl. There were a few gaps in there when I didn't pay much attention to hockey, but I do remember the full face mask with Bernie Perron and some of the guys who did have designs and artwork on them.
Jerry Cheevers of the Boston Bruins didn't just wear a mask, he created a symbol. His trainer painted stitch marks on it, chronicling every puck strike. The mask became an icon, a piece of hockey history that showed how it saved his face from scars.
And fast forward to 86, 87, when Hextall came on the scene, that's when I kind of started seeing more of the combo style mask with the cage.
As goalie masks evolved, so did Wager's work. With modern builds focused on more protection, goalie masks provided Wager with a canvas, one that allowed his clients at all levels to bring their personality onto the ice. Take Kaylee Doyle, a goalie for the Quinnipiac University NCAA Division I women's hockey team. Doyle wanted a mask to express her allegiance to her home state, team, and commitment to a cause close to her heart. Wager created a masterpiece.
This one had a little bit more meaning than my previous one, so I did a lot of little more like low-key things that you probably don't think about that have more meaning to me than anyone would know. Recently, Michigan changed their license plate to the more like retro style blue and yellow logo, so I thought it'd be cool to incorporate that since that's like our colors too. So that was kind of that's just always been my thing, kind of incorporate my home into my helmet and just advocating for student athletes specifically. I think we go through a lot, so I think it's important to just remind people like it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to want to talk about things. The whole backplate itself is probably like my favorite. I think I incorporated a few little pieces on there for people in my life that mean a lot to me. And then as well as the puzzle pieces, I did that for my cousin with autism. So I'd say like those are probably like the two main ones.
Those were all elements she asked specifically for. And it was more of a translation of her ideas and then making them fit onto the shape we had. I had some suggestions for as far as like scale of the puzzle pieces originally, her original artwork, and whether it would be on purpose or just what she had available to her or whatever. The puzzle pieces were quite small. I said, what if we made them bigger and let them show a little better so people could see right away what it was, and she was really receptive to that.
Noah Altman of the Quinnipiac men's hockey team likewise collaborated with Wager, who enjoyed showcasing the team's colors.
If you're sitting in the stands and you look down at it, I think it's probably my favorite helmet I've ever had. I think this is my 7th painted helmet. I've been very lucky over my life to have a good amount of them, but I think this one's my favorite. I don't know, there's something it's super simple. Like there isn't a whole lot going on. It's just some broad and bold shapes and colors, and it's really cool. So gold has turned into one of my favorite colors. This bobcat, whatever yellow gold this is really cool, and then navy also. So they're super bold. They contrast each other really well.
The contrast of the colors is great. You can't go wrong with sport gold and navy. And then the logo is really well conceived. It has great, big, bold sections of color that contrast well with each other, and it's immediately identifiable.
While Wager's designs capture the essence of team colors, they also bring a personal touch for athletes like former ECHL goalie Dylan Kelly, who brought his inspiration as an athlete onto the ice.
I got Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan on there are kind of two of my base role models, people that I look up to, and just the mental side of the game, for the way they approach the game mentally and physically, I would say, are just things that I always looked up to. And with it being the year 23, 24, I got one of them on each side of my mask. Just kind of all that stuff tied together made that mask really special for me.
His love for basketball and those two legendary players, he wanted to do that, and because it was the 23-24 season, it was kind of a no-brainer for him to kind of pick that kind of twist on the idea. The colors balanced out well, and it allowed me to kind of work in a way I don't always work in with portraits. I don't do a lot of portraits, but I wanted to do them in a particular style that was me, which is a little bit more engineered and more mechanical, as opposed to, you know, more photorealistic. I just work a different way. I think a little bit differently.
Wager's process begins with a vision. Each project requires more than just artistic talent. It demands an understanding of the mask's purpose.
I don't usually work so much with a brush, but in this case, it's just kind of more practical.
As his vision takes shape, Wager adds personal elements that allow each goalie to carve their own personality onto their mask.
The unique aspect of this is, you know, the players get to have some of their personality on that headgear. You know, some about who they are.
Every detail counts, and sometimes for Wager, taping is just as important as the paint itself, a technique Wager has used for years.
This is a skill you got to develop too, is taping. Taping's every bit as important as throwing the paint.
Masks are for protection first, so Wager focuses on making each element visible while ensuring the design isn't lost.
So you have to be aware of where it's going to be when the final product is put together. And you don't want to cover up important pieces of images.
Time is often a challenge, but Wager's passion keeps him focused on delivering his best work.
This is kind of how it goes in this world. So that timetable that you had, you know, set in your mind no longer stands. Keeps me kind of like, I don't know, sharp. Keeps me alert. Keeps me, you know, mindful of what's around me.
Every mask tells a story, not just of the player, but of his own dedication to his craft. There's no right or wrong in his process, just the opportunity to create.
When I see it on the ice or on TV or a video, it confirms those things, and that's always a good moment for me.
It's not art, it's identity. For goalies, their masks can be just as personal as their game. And when they wear them, it's connection that goes beyond just equipment. It's something Wager takes pride in, knowing that he is the bridge that connects each goalie to their story. For Wager, what was once just a blend of childhood interest, hockey, and art, has become a craft. One that is more than simply protection, one that allows goaltenders to stand out, to be seen, and to show who they are.